Well, Ismail, thank you so much for taking your time for this. I really appreciate it. As we start, can you maybe talk about your current role in the company?
Yeah, sure. So I'm working as a VP IT data security, and
Hmm.
my responsibility include security and overall compliance of IBEX global organization.
I understand. And can you maybe just a couple of words about the organization?
Yeah, so we are basically a public holding company, IBEX Global, and we are providing outsourcing services
Hmm.
to various clients in different IT fields and different service sectors.
I see. I understand. And can you talk a little bit about your uh, previous roles, about your kind of career? How did you get into cybersecurity,
Yeah,
technology, and
sure.
cybersecurity?
So, yeah, sure. So, back in 2005, I graduated in information security from one of the prestigious institute in Pakistan, and then I kind of joined as a configuration management engineer. My early role was for around 2 years. I was in software configuration management, but I was always wanted to switch to my interested field, that is information security. That was kind of new at that time in Pakistan as well. So I got the opportunity in the same organization to establish a security program, and I was kind of the pioneer guy who
Hmm.
established all the doing the risk assessment, and then security operations, governance, risk and compliance, all these things. I done that in that organization. Then I moved to one of the largest financial service sector in Pakistan, and then my journey continued to Telenor Global Shared Services, and after that I joined IBEX Global as a director IT security.
I understand. I understand. It's very interesting. As you can imagine, cybersecurity in general is just as a field is getting so much attention recently, and it seems like it's growing popularity. If nothing else, just judging by updates on TechCrunch, it seems like every other week there is another company raising a couple $100 million at $1 billion valuation. So there is certainly a lot of interest in the space. From your vantage point and from your experience, what would you recommend maybe some of the more junior professionals or even students as they're looking into this field and considering creating a career for themselves? What would you recommend that they spend their time on?
I think so. Cybersecurity itself is a very vast field, right? There are different domains in the cybersecurity. So, my recommendation to the people or the students is that if they really think they have that attitude and aptitude to move into the cybersecurity field, then they should start from my recommendation is to like system administration, understanding the operating system or the networks, because this will be the core of any cybersecurity professional, right? So these are the building blocks where you're gonna build your career on all these the next steps moving forward to your career. So I think this deep understanding of the operating systems and the networks, as well as the development, that gonna really help any cybersecurity professional in its long-term career.
I understand. I understand. And there are so many issues that people are discussing right now. Um, Breaches, I mean, like Okta, probably the most recent one,
Yeah, yeah.
ransomware, various uh, zero-day exploits, um, I don't know, zero trust. It's really kind of there's kind of so many kind of new themes and issues. It's something that's kind of top of mind right now. But imagine you have a crystal ball and you can see the future. In your view, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, what do you think CISOs will be focusing on? What do you think will be top three challenges they will be thinking about?
I will start from that. I think if you look on the breaches, most of the time, these are very simple things that were not taken care of, right? I mean, if you talk about patching, passwords, vulnerability assessment, system ports, so these are very basic things. So cybersecurity hygiene is one of the important thing to be in place, right? There are sophisticated attacks happening. I understand that, but if you look at the trend, you see that there were very trivial things that were exploited. The patches were out there for like 3 months, 6 months, or even a year, but the organization did not patch their system, and that lead into the compromise. From future point of view, I think my understanding is that there are a couple of things. One is that this new working model, especially in this COVID situation, work from home model, that created a lot of challenges for the organization, because now the shift of the environment that you are working in a closed network infrastructure within that organization premises has totally changed. You have to give employees access to their network over there from their homes, and that creates another layer of security challenges, and creates vulnerabilities as well. So I think one is aspect is this remote working model, that would be a challenge, and cybersecurity professionals need to make sure that in any such scenarios they are taking care of all those things, all those control are in place. I think the second thing is the cloud part, the cloud computing. That again, I was reading a report from IBM, and the threat report was saying that the cloud security attacks kind of increased over the time. And the reason is that people think that it's a cloud, so it's safe. No, it's your responsibility. What is the model of that service that you are taking? So many times it's all your responsibility to manage that, implement all those controls on the cloud infrastructure. And then third, of course, these hackers guy, these threat actors who are providing different kind of ransomware as a service and things like that. So these three things I think are kind of important, and they will be we will be seeing the same trend in future.
I understand. I understand. Well, thank you for sharing this. Kind of switching gears a little bit, based on your experience with Affinia, I mean, in general, kind of the community is meant to provide opportunities for members to share knowledge in various ways, offer networking opportunities. So essentially, how to learn together and succeed together. And sometimes we succeed at that, and sometimes
Yeah.
we also have challenges. So from your experience so far, what are the things that you like, that are valuable for you? What are the things you think Affinia is lacking and we can do more of?
So I will be honest here. I wasn't quite following Affinia, but I started this I believe a month or 2 months back. And I think one of the interesting things that I found is that this discussion part, right? So you get to know opinion from different security leaders. What are the trends? What is going on in our current environment, and what would be the future from cybersecurity perspective? I think if we can add that a bit more collaboratively. I mean, I don't know if that is already there, but like what the point we just discussed about security trends, how cybersecurity community should try to cope up with the coming industry challenges, security challenges, or trends that are shifting at the infrastructure level as well as from the threat actors perspective. So that I think would be kind of more helpful. And then again, there should be some kind of sharing of or feedback about various products. I mean, it shouldn't be like that you are providing specific information if you are using that product, but the experience about different security technologies, that kind of thing that should be very helpful if we continue moving forward
Certainly.
for the
And then the
Affinia.
first point that you mentioned, are you thinking something on the lines of a virtual roundtable when?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Mhm.
that would be more helpful, because then you have different cybersecurity professionals, leaders from different background, from different experience, and that can kind of give us an opportunity to learn from each other.
Mhm. And do you think that they should be industry specific, um, or not? Or you think it would be just by maybe company size or title? What do you think would make the most sense?
I think both can work. I mean, if you have a different background, somebody is coming from, say, a financial background, financial institution. Some is coming from IT services. Some is coming from health organization. That will give us a different perspective of what kind of challenges out there and how they are catering those or addressing those
Mhm.
security challenges. So that would be,
Certainly,
I think, helpful. A mix.
certainly, certainly. And the second point that you mentioned about providing feedback about products, and I would imagine vendors as well. Well, I know there are kind of different venues that currently people are going for. I know there are Gartner reports and the Magic Quadrants and whatnot. There's Capterra, there's G2 Crowd, but um, every resource, even though it may be serving its needs, but not probably not without challenges. And actually, we're planning in our roadmap to have a resource. It's almost going to be a director of vendors that's only available to members. Once you log into the website, you'll be able to see and provide feedback, and also search for feedback from other members. So actually you can put, and it's not just 5-star review or 3-star review. There's actually uh, you can see who left this review, and you can reach out and provide it and ask for additional information, kind of additional color. We're still kind of working on this internally, but do you think, what are your thoughts on something like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can review all those reports, Gartner reports, and other stuff. But I think it would be more appropriate, and it would be give more value if somebody who has actually have experienced those solutions, those technologies, because it can vary. I mean, for say for a small organization, one solution can fit, but for a larger organization, that solution might not be very appropriate. So I think this kind of feedback and experience, that would be really helpful for other community members.
Interesting. We may take you up on this. As we're building this functionality. I would love to get your feedback on some of the forms, some of the questions. So again, as a side note, not as part of this, but would love to reach out and get your feedback on this. Awesome. And kind
Sure.
of speaking of vendors, uh, usually when the subject is brought up, people have pretty strong emotional response, because it's everyone gets pitched so much over email and phone. If you look back at last 3 months, 6 months, can you think of a vendor where the experience was amazing? And I'm just wanting, without naming names, what is it that they did that worked? And also, what are like the top 3 things you dislike about how vendors approach cybersecurity executives?
Um, I think, yeah. I've been working with some vendors, and some were really went to extra mile. Um, it's all. I mean, it's all depend that once for example, once you finalize a product, especially once you finalize a product, how much support you are providing in during that or after that deployment of the product. So that is important. It's not like just you sell that product and then you don't get that kind of a support that you, or the feedback that you were initially getting before this sale or before finalizing the solution. So yeah, we have experienced some vendors who were really great in not before during the engagement, but after the engagement they really kind of provided us support that we required from different kind of challenges that we faced during the deployment. So about not liking, I mean, if you are if if you're trying to sell a product that is not appropriate, that is not best fit into my environment, and you are trying to again pitch that, I kind of don't like that. I mean, if its product is fit into my environment, definitely we will look into that and we will make progress. But if it is not, then there is no point to knocking again and again.
I see. I understand. Well, I hear some people saying that they get calendar invites from people that don't know, just hoping that some of them maybe will get accepted. So uh, I hear that some of the vendors are more aggressive than others, and some are
Yeah.
extremely extremely aggressive. But I understand it certainly makes sense. And again, kind of switching gears a little bit, the, we talked about challenges and existing challenges and emerging challenges. Where do you usually go for educate for kind of information for um, kind of new, whether it's emerging threat vectors or emerging new solutions? Is it conferences? Is it analysts? Is it RSA, Black Hat, Gartner? Is it your peer network, industry publications? What's your favorite go-to source?
I normally prefer to. I would love to go to conferences, but due to my work nature and workload, it's kind of hard to get time for that. But most of the time, I prefer to. I have subscribed to different forums, so I get that kind of information about what are the new trends, what are the latest threats coming in, so and what are the security trends that are coming in. So I get those from the forums by reading different stuff, and then of course some uh, solutions that we have. We get threat intelligence from there as well. So that's how we are, trying to cope up with the latest technology and the trends.
I understand. I understand. Um, I guess last question. Kind of going back to some of the ways we talked about the virtual. I just thought about the virtual roundtable, but at
Yeah.
some point, well, hopefully, I think more and more parts of life are opening up, and we're actually considering doing a small scale, maybe half a dozen or a dozen members to convene for a face-to-face event. Is it something you think will be feasible? I know maybe in the second half of 2022. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, based on this COVID situation, the rates are going down. So I think things will be open up, and yeah, I would love to have a face-to-face conversation with my peers
Awesome.
and cybersecurity community.
Awesome. Well, Ismail, thank you so much for your time. I think this was very productive. I thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that.